Hello, Banties, and welcome to another phenomenal episode of Base Hits and Banter. Um, Holy moly, it's so good to have you guys. Whatever day of the week, whatever hour that you're listening to, it's a happy day because we're in the middle of college softball season and things are absolutely buck wild. I am one of your hosts, Halo, joined by my fabulous bestie.
Samu.
Hey, Samu.
Hey,
Sam, what are what did we watch this weekend? Where do
dude.
you want to start? Because there's a lot we got to get to, and not enough time to do it.
No, we never have enough time because there's so much that's happening. I think a really good place to start is when you and I were talking off the air. We were talking about this year being so crazy and that you're not really seeing a lot of sweeps, which I think is really interesting. I think it's so interesting. But then you brought up a good point that someone did sweep this weekend, and it was A&M over LSU. So like not on my bingo
Holy
card for
macaroons!
sweep. Like,
No,
holy
not on
cow.
the bingo card, not on the bingo card at all. No one. I can we maybe we should send this episode directly to Tori Vidalis because no one's talking about Texas A&M, and
Yeah,
I can't for the life of me figure out why. But they're sitting there ranked number three. They're right
crazy.
behind Oklahoma and Texas. Everyone, rightfully so. Everyone wants to talk Florida's offense. Everyone wants to talk Texas. Everyone wants to talk Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Do you want to talk to Carlin? We love Carlin Pickens. You want to talk
we
Carlin
do.
Pickens throwing 78 mile an hour, fastballs just casually. But
Yeah.
Texas A&M, they've won 12 straight in
12
the
straight.
SEC. That's not easy to do.
No.
To sweep LSU, also not easy to do because Beth Trina is one of the best pitch callers I think in the country. That pitching staff makes so many great adjustments, game to game, series to series.
Yeah.
Sydney Berzon's an absolute animal for LSU, and Texas A&M's offense. And no disrespect to Berzon, Texas A&M's offense absolutely crushed her on Friday. And the rest of the LSU pitchers, I don't really think stood a chance. So I'm not exactly sure
Yeah.
what their offensive approach was, but it was so pure to watch because you can appreciate this. It's so fun to watch hitters that swing at the correct pitches and have like elite plate discipline
Mm-hmm.
coupled with power and timely hitting and clutch hitting. Like there was just so much of that for A&M. And to top that off, you've got the big lefty and Emily Kennedy, who's an absolute stud workhorse of
Yeah.
a pitcher. She got roughed up a little bit too, but what I love about her is she can honestly give up 8 runs and you can tell nothing on her face changes. She's an animal.
It's so good. It's so good. And I think what's really interesting about the scores is that A&M in the first two games gave up 7 runs each game, but they scored 12 and 9. So what you're saying, like the offensive approach, I think is so important in what you already brought up of like, I'm gonna hit this ball hard where it's pitched. Like I'm gonna put this swing on this pitch because that's what needs to get done. And
Don't
it's so
overcomplicate it.
simple. Yeah. And
That's so
I,
nice.
I love what you're talking about. Everyone's talking about this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, I think we're everyone. I think that's
We are
us.
everyone. We
We're
haven't talked
everyone.
about Texas A&M enough.
We haven't.
And Coach Ford, we love you.
We
We
love
love
you.
everything. We love everything about you. You're the
The
best. We need to.
way,
If you're out here listening, Coach Trisha Ford, um, please come hang out with us in this little
please,
Zoom room that we've got working here because the
please.
the competitiveness that you show is like anytime I hear her in an interview, I want to run through a brick wall,
I
and I mean
like
that with my whole soul.
every bone in my body I will run it through. And I feel like this happens like once a year. There'll be a clip of Trisha Ford at a press conference and she's just laying something crazy on the line. And we're just like, yeah, eh,
We love her.
yeah.
We're bought
So
in.
the most recent one that she was talking about was like it's fun to win, it's fun to be dedicated to something and work hard at something. That's fun. Slacking off, not fun. You know what I mean? Like I just love the message because I think it speaks to us in that like it's keeping it simple, like work hard, get results, win ball games equals fun. And I just ugh. Anyway.
Fun doesn't come first. I think that's what stood out to me the most on that message. It's like fun doesn't come first. And a lot of young kids now too, especially. No, we're not talking about, like your 12 and under kids. Like you should have fun when you're playing softball. That probably should
Please,
come first then, right?
please.
But when you hit a certain age and you're dedicated and you're committed to something, you sign a
Mm,
freaking national letter of intent,
mm,
like that word should mean something, right?
mm,
Like the fun doesn't come first. The hard work, the dedication, the commitment, the intention, that comes
mm.
first. The results follow that, and then the result of that is winning, and winning is what makes that process fun.
Ugh. Oh
You know what?
my
Yeah.
God. Yes.
Thanks,
You
Coach Ford. We love
like,
you.
yes,
What a
we
good
love you.
point.
Coming out with us. Like I can't put it lightly enough how big of a deal that message is. Because it's not that we're not having fun. It's the message is not, no, don't go out and have fun. Softball's not supposed to be fun. It's that it's not first. Like that is so Halo. My God. And look, I mean, I feel like we can say this with our whole chest because did anybody have more fun than the two of us playing
No,
softball? Like,
no,
God,
no, we
it
didn't. But we also
uh,
worked our behinds off constantly
behind.
in the
Yeah.
off season, in season, watching
Yeah.
film. Like
Mm.
some of my fondest, most fun softball memories, Samu, was breaking down film with you at like 2 a.m. after a
Oh my
doubleheader.
God. On our
You
little
know,
laptops. Yes.
yeah,
Showing we
like
beat.
this wasn't a strike, was
Yeah.
it?
Halo, look at this one. Yeah. Oh my God. And then we
But
couldn't go to
that's work.
sleep.
That's
We couldn't
work,
go to sleep until we did it. Like the night was not over until we looked over it. But the, gosh, those were good times. The
man.
message, oh, we'd get some
Moral of the
McDonald's.
story: gig 'em. I
We
have
are
that
big
blur feature
fans.
on, but gig 'em.
We are all about it. But you want to talk a little bit about your tide over there? I think we
I didn't
should.
want to be a homer and bring it up right at the top of the show, but I have to talk. I mean, okay,
Please,
look,
please.
we all know Alabama and Oklahoma's postseason history,
We
right?
do. We do.
We know the dancing in the rain of 2012
We do.
and the J train, just utter
Oh,
domination.
utter.
We know the 2015 Super Regional where Oklahoma takes game one at the Rhodes House, and then
Oh,
FAMU comes back
oh,
with a Marissa Runyon grand slam to go to the World Series. That was
okay.
probably the most fun softball game I've ever played in, by the way. That
I'm gonna
was
talk
that was
fun.
an out of body experience. There was earthquake activity registering in Tuscaloosa when she hit that home run. Okay.
Oh,
For this series to be your prime time, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, SEC series, you're back in Tuscaloosa with all that history. And Alabama's not having that great of a year, I don't think, up to their standards, right? They
right.
blow the game one lead Friday night. Jocelyn
Yes.
Brisky comes in the seventh, gives up a 2-run home run. Oklahoma goes on to win the game 5-1.
Ouch.
24 hours later, Brisky gets the ball, and it could have gone one or two ways. And this girl decides to step into that circle and just be like, not today. Like, today's a new day. I'm going right after these girls. Like, so resilient, so gritty. Just, I was in studio in Charlotte yesterday watching it, and I was blown away. That was the best game Alabama's played this year by far. Um, Also, can we talk about Patty Gasso's in-game interview and how much we appreciated it as pure
Yes.
softballists, please?
Yes. Let's talk about it because sometimes you just don't be having it, and there's no reason to sugarcoat it.
No, like don't play the politics that a lot of these coaches do in the interviews, where it's like, well, it's our, we're having good approaches, and we're just not getting. Yeah, like don't lie. Like
No,
I love that and respect that so much about Coach Gasso, where she's just like, well, Coach, what are you seeing from the offense? Well, nothing.
nothing.
But there's literally nothing happening. So like I'm not seeing anything. I would love for us to make some adjustments.
Yeah.
Boom.
Period.
there's so much. You don't have to always put a positive spin on things. Like if you just want to be a realist, like sometimes it's the best thing you can do as coach. I mean, the lady knows what she's doing, so
Really. And you're so right because her saying that was not negative. She just didn't put a positive spin on a bad day that they were having. She did not
right.
say, I hate these hitters. They all suck. I hope they transfer. She said, I'm not seeing anything from my offense today.
I'm just keeping
Period.
it 100 with you guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
She even
And
said something
she
about the
wasn't
energy.
wrong.
No, she wasn't wrong.
She wasn't wrong.
And
They didn't have a lot of energy. They were flat. You can tell they kind of got punched in the mouth a little bit, and they were kind of playing on their heels. That was the first time, and I'm interested to see how tonight we're recording this on a Monday, just so you guys know. So we don't know the results of Game
right.
3, which is going to happen tonight, which I am excited for. That yesterday was the first time I've seen Oklahoma's offense look a little indecisive. Like
Yeah.
they weren't quite sure of
Yeah.
themselves. They weren't sure of themselves when they were swinging. Um, does Brisky throw again tonight? I don't know, but if I
Yeah.
know anything about Coach Gasso, let's just imagine what that message was post game. Like we're gonna see one of two Oklahomas tonight, and I have the feeling we're gonna see the better Oklahoma because
Yeah.
I just it's gonna be a dogfight
Yeah.
tonight.
Oh,
But
I
roll
can,
tide.
oh, of course. But yeah, I can picture Patty either like not saying anything and just kind of looking, and you'd be like, I get it. You're right. No, good point.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like
Like nothing needs to
she
be
doesn't
said.
have to say anything. She
Right.
doesn't have to say anything, and
But
that's
yeah,
oof, oof.
it's
It's gonna
just,
be so good tonight. I am a
it's
little
such a
nervous.
moment. I think such a moment in women's sports too, for her to be that straightforward and that honest with it. She didn't bash anybody. She didn't like nothing like that. Because we see this a lot in press conferences or post game interviews with men's sports, whether it's baseball, basketball, whatever. It's like, my team didn't do their job tonight. Like we should have won. Like
Period.
you see those constantly. And I think that we do have a little level of sugarcoating in women's sports where it's just like, we do want to be mindful of people's feelings, where it's like, I would hope that the player who wasn't hitting well and wasn't having good energy isn't going to sit there and think, what would that say to me as that player? Oh, she's doing a great job. You are lying. How am
Right.
I going to,
Then that helps no one.
who's that going to help? Right. So,
Yeah,
like,
that
being
helps no one.
honest is going to help players get better. And it's going to get to a point where, like, maybe this isn't going to happen again. So, I don't know. I just think that was such a moment.
No, 1,000%. I completely agree with you. And there is too, like there is in women's sports especially, we're always taught to be positive, right? And we think if we're not, but there is a line, like there is
Of course.
something called toxic positivity, where
Ugh.
you're covering up things that you don't necessarily want to be held accountable for because you're just putting a positive spin on it, and it's
Right.
like that may help you like in the moment, but you can't do that for 5, 10, like 15, 20 years. Like what's going to help you
No.
long term? Like you need to have those real accountable type of moments. And I love that. I just love that Coach Gasso wasn't shying away from it.
That was great. It
It
really
was amazing.
was. Oh,
Amazing.
um,
Now I hope her team doesn't listen to her at all. Well, maybe next week.
and
They can
at
listen
least
to her
not
next
today.
week.
Yeah,
Don't listen to her today. You don't have to.
it's
You
the
know,
next
complete
week
opt in.
thing.
But yeah,
Just
next week. Next week we'll move on.
totally.
Tonight,
Let's
the tide rolls.
of course, the tide will roll tonight.
The pipeline to the women's national team.
HPP has helped me find a new identity in like who I am as a player. It's helped show how hard work pays off, and it's really got me excited for the future of our game, the future for me, the future for my fellow athletes, and for what I strive to do in the future in college and then potentially with USA softball in the future.
Let's talk. I know we do be talking a lot about Tennessee, but like, how can you not when they are the second team in SEC history to win regular season series over both the number 1 and number 2 teams within a single season? They took down Oklahoma to start, and they took down Texas this past weekend. They're playing the way that they should be playing.
I don't know what to say. I don't
It's okay. I get it.
Words aren't enough to describe the level of difficulty of the things Tennessee has accomplished.
Yep.
Not only, so you said that the second team in SEC history to do that. LSU
Yeah.
was the first in 2007. Okay.
Wow.
7, I think it was. And that both of those series were at home. Tennessee,
No, not these.
both were on the road. They went into Norman, into Love's
Norman?
Field,
Ugh.
where
Yeah.
Oklahoma hasn't lost a conference series at home since like before I was born, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then you go into Austin and do that to. I was looking at some stats yesterday. Texas's offense is top 5 in pretty much every offensive category in the country.
Crazy.
Batting average, slug, RBIs, home runs, doubles, triples, like you name it, walks. Like
Ugh.
they're virtually unstoppable. And Carlin Pickens literally said, "Hold my Diet Coke. I'm coming in here. This is my turf." And she also, let's not forget that Carlin Pickens didn't do this Friday, Sunday. She did it Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday. Yep.
And everyone was looking at Karen sideways saying, like, oh my gosh, like, why is Pickens pulled after, I think, was it even 2 innings? She got pulled really
At the
early
most.
Friday night.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, Karen, what the, whatever. Now,
Yep.
Genius. Karen's a genius. Was Aubrey Leach behind that decision? Maybe.
She's genius too. I'm just saying.
We love Aubrey Leach on this show.
That we do.
What good coaching, what clean softball. And I was also really impressed too with Tennessee's offense coming back after like Tegan Kavan. Let's give
She's so
Tegan
good.
Kavan some credit here. Her ball moves quite like nothing I've ever seen on film. I would love to stand in and see what it looks like as a hitter, but even on film, you can see the sharp movement of her rise ball. I thought Tennessee's offense looked so much better on Sunday than they did on Friday, and I feel like it gave Carlin some breathing room to be like, okay, I'm gonna go out, like we're winning this. I'm going after these girls, and she did it, and she said, horns down. I don't know what you guys are talking about. We're just here.
Whoops. Yeah. Oh man.
Carlin actually hooked them. You know what I mean?
She took it personally. She took it seriously, and she said, "Hook 'em? Okay, sure. I'll hook you."
She did. Yep.
That's good.
Here's some 78-mile-an-hour ched.
Shed. Oh, and you know what? It's also gonna bite. That's that sharp cheddar.
It was extra sharp. Extra
Dude,
sharp.
Just
Vermont.
like such. Oh. You know what?
States
though,
you never thought you'd hear on Base Hits and Banter. Vermont, but it's Vermont extra sharp.
We're just talking cheese. Speaking of cheese, just kidding. I don't have anything else on cheese, but
I was gonna say I can't wait for you to segue this.
I got nothing. I don't have anything else on cheese. I was just gonna bring up some more softball, but Iowa State took the series over Oklahoma State this weekend. Okay.
My Oklahoma State playing at the Women's College World Series prediction earlier in the year is not aging well. And it's something I have to acknowledge. We just talked about being real. We just talked about being real, right? So I'm holding myself accountable. Yeah. This does not look good. Oklahoma State they're in a tough spot right now. They're in a really tough spot. We had Bedlam. This week. NCAA single season attendance record, regular season.
1 million people were there.
Yes. Quite literally.
Yeah. Quite literally.
Oklahoma State jumps out to an early lead. I'm thinking,
whoa.
Okay. I'm thinking, oh.
Whoa.
Ruby Melee. Oh.
Whoa.
I'm thinking it. And then the wheels just completely fell off.
They didn't even take their time to fall off. They just were like all 4 at once fell.
It collapsed. That's what Oklahoma can do to you, which is scary. But I have some concerns about Oklahoma State right now. The rest of the season can either go one of 2 ways. You can draw a line in the sand and be like, okay, we're not allowing this to happen anymore. We're going to make the adjustments. We're going to take control of this conference. Like, this is our time to really get going and get on a hot streak. We've seen programs do things like this in the past, right?
Totally.
Florida State has been one of those teams to make a magical kind of postseason run. Does Oklahoma State have that in them? maybe we'll see. They're probably not going to host a super regional. I don't know if they're in contention to even host an actual regional at this
Oh,
point if they continue on the same path that they're on. So could get dicey.
it's so it's so interesting too with the SEC, like the SEC switch for Texas and Oklahoma is like, all right, this is our conference. Like this, the Big 12, this is ours, Oklahoma State, and it's had a little bit of a different effect, I think, this year than we were maybe anticipating.
Yeah, because everyone, I mean, at least me, I was like, well, no, this is now Oklahoma State's conference.
Yeah,
It's
I
not going to
think we
be
all thought
close.
that.
It's
Yeah,
not going to be
we all thought
close.
that.
And now you're seeing Arizona come in, have a
Historic Big
really
12 school.
so traditional, right?
It's so
Um,
weird.
so traditional. But there's just a lot more parity in the Big 12 than I think we ever thought there would be coming into this season, and
Right.
it's been interesting to follow. You got
It
Texas
has.
Tech kind of float. You got Texas Tech and Niger kind of floating around in there too. So
Yeah. Oh man. How about Houston giving them a pretty good series over the weekend? Like they I I'm just so intrigued. Like I really kind of want to fast forward and see the 8 that are in Oklahoma City. Like I'm antsy because of
we
the way
were
things have been going.
no, well, we were talking about this on Rally Cap last night. I was asked a question like, "What's a bold prediction for the rest of the softball season?" And I was looking at the RPI. The FCC
Oh,
has 8 of the top 11 teams, 7 of the top 10.
unreal.
There's a chance that the SEC could have 6 of the 8 teams in Oklahoma City, and that's not a stretch
No, by
or
any
a
means.
reach. Because I mean, who else are we talking about? Non-SEC schools that are ranked in the top 10. We're talking Oregon, UCLA, classic
Yep.
Big Ten softball schools, right?
Yeah.
Oregon, UCLA. Who do I throw Florida State in that mix?
I was gonna say
Probably,
Florida State.
right? Um,
Everyone,
who
everyone else is SEC.
who else? Maybe if Naja gets hot and Texas Tech wins 2 games 1-0,
Right.
which
Right.
that might happen.
Right.
But
Even
I haven't seen enough to your point about Texas Tech. Like I haven't seen enough from them to be like, yeah, that team's for sure going to OKC.
have
They
not.
haven't
Nope.
proven that at all. So very interesting,
It's
very interesting storylines where I feel like Nigel's kind of in the same boat that she was at Stanford last year, which is
yes.
like we're winning, but we're winning 2-1, 1-0. Like she's got to
Close.
be. How much pressure? I wonder how much pressure she feels. Like I feel like she's got to. She might feel like she's got to be perfect.
Yeah, she's got to be on. Yeah, because if the
Got to be
games
on.
the games that she loses are, like you said, 1-0, 2-1. It's like scraping by. So you can throw pitchers who throw 1-run or 2-run ball games. Like you really should be winning them.
Absolutely,
I
you
don't.
should be winning them. But
I
also
don't
to
know.
think about like I think as we get towards the postseason too, one of the things that we're going to be talking about is like recovery from really emotional big moments, right?
Big.
I, it's not lost on like as an outfielder. This is something I was lucky enough to be able to escape a lot. Where it's like I'm in the grass, I'm doing my own thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like super locked into every like I'll lock in when the pitch is thrown, but I've got some time to like be a little
You
scatterbrained
got
and like
some
do my thing
time.
and have fun, right? If you're a pitcher, like think about how exhausted you have to be after a game where every single pitch matters, like the emotional exhaustion that you have to
Right.
go through. That's not sustainable over the course of 60 games, over the course of
No.
regional supers and potentially the World Series. You need moments that breathe.
Right. Right. God, that was a
So it's
sermon.
I
You're so right, though. That's
six
why
teams. Are we really talking 6 SEC teams in Oklahoma City? Like, yeah, I think we are.
I think at a minimum.
At a minimum, 4.
Oh, I think without a doubt 4 teams from the SEC will be there. I think 6 is very reasonable, and I think there could be more.
There might be. Well, because think about how, with the way the RPI is, how are you going to seed these teams? Like, are we
It's a
going to have
full
Are we going
task.
to have SEC teams in each? Like, you can't have them in each other's regional. So
No,
then,
because
what
they're
does
gonna
that
host.
happen? Right. So what happens if Oklahoma State doesn't host a regional? Do they get sent to Norman for regionals now that they're not in the same conference anymore?
Oh my gosh, right? You look like Dory. I'm looking at you.
I've never related to a Disney character more than I relate to Dory.
She
If you
just
know, you know.
can't remember anything.
It's called concussions, kids. Protect the domes, okay?
um,
But that could that happen? Yeah, it could.
it could happen, of course.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. Our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
We're getting close though. It's a few weeks away from May, so we're almost there.
Mayhem, as Beth
Mayhem.
Mullins would say.
Mayhem has never been more accurate than what we're about to go through. But you know what? Another team we haven't talked about in a minute is Nebraska, because they're like in that same boat where, I mean, they're winning the games they're supposed to win. They've dropped some, but they've got a good test coming up in they play Indiana, who's like not a cakewalk. They play Washington. Like, I don't know, man. There's just so many things that are happening this season where, like we said in the beginning, it's like not a lot of sweeps are happening. Not a lot of games are for sure. There's teams that you think should win, right? But like, then you look at this weekend, A&M sweeps LSU. You're like, I thought LSU could have probably taken at least one game. So
At least one. You did not think that was going to be a sweep. At least
so
I
much
didn't.
going on.
Yeah.
Can we talk though about some grand salamis off of Megan Grant's bat over the last like couple, like at one point she had hit 3 grand slams in 4 games.
Chef's been cooking.
Chef's been cooking.
And they're hearty meals. You know what I mean? They're not salads. They're not Caesar salads.
They sure aren't, with the dressing on the side.
They're lasagnas.
They're lasagnas with 3 breadsticks to go.
And she's a real G. And she's a real G, and she's moving in silence. Like
you already know. You already know. And that pulls her up to a season total of 68 RBIs for UCLA. Like,
is that a lot?
I would say it's a lot. Mm-hmm. In 44 games, I would say that's a lot. Yeah. Like, she's just, hey, Easton, we still love you, even though we don't swing you.
We don't, but we can talk about the girlies that do. And Megan Grant is one of them. I don't know if you saw the article that came out. I can't remember where it was from, so apologies for not shouting out the source. But there is, she was having kind of a rough start to the year. Megan Grant was. She didn't play in a few games. People were wondering like what's going on.
Yes,
she was going through like a pretty real like kind of mental struggle, and coaches said she was in like a super dark place and just maybe a little bit burnt out. Clearly, something switched with her.
Bada bing.
Her teammates gave her the support that she needed, and she is just thriving.
Yeah.
So to any young kiddo out there, it gets better. Just keep swinging.
Just keep swinging. And I think for her, I remember when she came into the scene. I remember when she stepped in the box for the first time as a freshman. I was like, this kid looks like an MLB player. Like I remember just being so taken by the way that she stands in the box, the way she looks, the way she feels. And I feel like the way she is swinging the bat right now is exactly the expectation that I had after seeing her for the first time. She is hitting to her potential. And so whatever clicked, whatever went through that finally like got her to this point, like this is truly, I think, insane Megan Grant potential. And she's a junior. Like imagine having this and not even like you still have a full season and a half left.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but her 68 RBIs are not leading the nation. There is someone in front of her who we talked about a few weeks ago, Kat Rodriguez from North Carolina. She has 73 RBIs.
That's insane.
She has broken the record, the single season record for North Carolina. She broke it with 69, and now she's at 73. So she's like, records were made to be broken, and then I'm going to make it so mine can't be broken.
Yeah, because she broke it, like a little over halfway through the year?
Yeah, literally 44 games. Come on. 73 RBIs.
What are we talking about?
Also, shout out to North Carolina getting them runners on base.
Yeah, no, North Carolina's offense has been really fun to watch, and we don't mean that just because of their home run celebration where
I mean,
they
it adds
throw
to it, but
throw each other 80 feet into the air.
we
But
want to do it still.
we do,
Please.
and
Thank
we
you.
will make a trip to Chapel Hill to do it.
Yeah. But no, you're right. They have been fun to watch because it's just been clean. It's just been like you get them on, you move them over, and you hit them in.
Good clean softball. Good clean softball.
Simple as
You
that.
did want to bring up a little mid-major shout out for you in Middle
You know I
Tennessee
do.
State. Is that right?
They had 22 consecutive games with a home run. Like leading the NCAA in consecutive games with a home run. Like what a
Is that a
gangster
record?
stat. I don't think
That
it was
is
a record, which is
gangster.
insane. Insane to me that it's not. But yeah, I just saw that pop up, a little NCAA softball, 22 games in a row with a home run. Like, geez,
That's hard
calm
to
down.
do. Calm
Like,
down.
can you control yourself? No, they can't.
That's wild.
That is a fun stat. I do like that.
What is their mascot? Blue Raiders. Go Blue Raiders. I think that's right.
I think you're right. And you know what? They can be whatever they want to be with putting the ball in the
Yeah.
park that much.
Yeah. Call yourselves whatever you want.
We do have a nice shout out, Kocha. 800th game won over there at Florida State. Kocha, we love you. We literally think about you
Go Knowles.
all the time. Like
All the time. Sending all
all
the
the
love
time.
to you, Kocha.
Constantly.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. She is still, can we just talk about too, like she's obviously like in the battle of her life right now, fighting breast
Yeah.
cancer. And she has just been, all of her interviews, like everything, just so, she's just her, like so gracious,
Yeah.
so kind, so positive. Like, man, what a strong lady. And kudos to all of the coaches out there too. Like I know Coach Walton in Florida showed up to their game like right after it was announced, like all wearing pink to warm up. Like Texas was wearing pink this weekend to honor her.
Yeah.
Louisville, like there have been a ton of schools just like shouting her out. So really fitting that she is literally just the best human being that you could ask for.
Yeah.
So Coach, we love you. We're here for you.
We do.
Sending you all the
We
love.
do. We love
and
you
healing.
so much. Yeah. And also congrats on the 800. Come on.
800 wins is a lot.
What a career.
You know how many? That's so many wins. It's so many games won.
That's yeah. I haven't won that many games. Like that's so many games. We have to do some math, but I don't think so. Yeah, we played a lot of games. Whew. But truly,
We don't want to age ourselves. We don't want to age ourselves, but decades worth.
We don't want to age ourselves, but when I retired softball, I had been playing softball for 3 decades. So let's just not. Halo's now drinking black coffee. That's how much we're aging ourselves.
Halo's entered her psychotic era and is all exclusively drinking black coffee.
If you guys see any sort of like blurs pass you by, it's just Halo. So stay calm. Halo, another great college recap, I would say. I think just keep on keeping on, colleges.
Keep on keeping on. As the semester goes on, the softball will go on. I think we close the show every week by saying like this just keeps getting better, and it's only going to continue to get better as we roll towards the postseason. Some series to watch this weekend.
Coming up. Let's hear it.
A classic Big Ten battle. Think cold weather. Think hands frozen trying to swing a bat. Think I really don't want to get jammed because it's 20 degrees and I'm out here playing softball for some reason. Anywho, UCLA and Oregon play each other this weekend, and it's gonna be a battle.
Big Ten,
it's gonna
baby.
It's gonna be a battle in the Big Ten. This could very well have super regional and regional.
That is going to be good.
Texas as well.
I am excited for that one.
So that will be really good.
One.
Tegan Kavan versus Sydney Burzon. First of all, that's fun to say. That should be like in a rap song. Tegan Kavan versus Sydney Burzon. Okay,
We'll make it.
It's the black coffee. It's the black coffee talking.
You're doing good.
But yeah, hook 'em, go
Oh,
Tigers. That'll be a good
we're
one.
just
So
we'll see you again same time next week with both of us saying, "Did you see what happened this weekend?"
quite literally, expect the same stuff but different.
Same but different. That's us. That's the I guess like the descriptor of the podcast.
That's it. Consistency is key.
That's what we say. All right, Bantees, we love you so much.
We love you so much. Thanks for listening. Send us all your college softball thoughts, and we'll work them into this fabulous show. You guys are the
We'll be
best.
here. Toodles.
At this time, we would like to thank the USA Softball Store at usasoftballstore.com for our amazing gear this week. You guys can have the exact same gear that Samu and I have literally right now if you go to usasoftballstore.com. So go literally right now, and you can use code BHB15 right now and get 15% off your entire purchase. So buy a lot of stuff, get that 15%, let it all go to use. usasoftballstore.com. Again, that code is BHB15.